Financial Fashion Network is a platform we have created to host events and build community by creating content that promote personal development, financial awareness, and mental health. And it's our main goal to be a motivating force to everyone in the world. Now, if you want to support our brand, you can go to www.fnfstore.com and you can find our apparel and you can, support the brand. Take a look at our hoodies, take a look at our joggers. It's getting ready to get cold. So if you see something you like, you can actually get 10% off your first order by using discount code FNF10. Thank you. You are now tuned in to We Invest Different Podcast, where we have high-level conversations. I'm Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm Victor Thomas II.
Let's tap in. One thing about our melanated community is that we need more systems, we need more control, and we need more ownership. In conversation number 36, we dive into the conversation of what's needed, what systems are needed for the melanated community to thrive in excellence. Tap in.
Great awakening.
Great awakening. Great awakening.
Yeah, I've been killing that thing. I like that one, bro. I've been killing that one lately.
Hey, I've been kicking that for a minute now.
Right.
Yeah, man. It sounds better.
Mm-hmm. I said it to my boss the other day. He Asian. So half of the time we don't never know what each other's saying because I talk Southern and he talk Asian. So we don't never know what each other's saying half of the time. I just be like, yeah, he just laugh or something. But anyway, he was like, what you be saying? He said something about that thing. He thought I was saying that thing in the morning. I was like, that thing.
What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. So I said, no, I'm saying great awakening, man. And he was like, what does that mean? I say, man, I'd rather say that than good morning, man. I said, I ain't mourning right now. This is a great awakening, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. And man, that's a powerful change in my opinion. Because
facts.
Like we was talking about, I like talking about the brain. And like one thing about the brain, it's not as specific as we would want it to be. So you got to be real deliberate on the stuff that you say and feed yourself. So like, because your brain it's not going to decipher whether it's spelled different than the word morning.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Like the words sound exactly the same. It don't matter how it's spelled. It's the same sound. You know what I'm saying? So the logic behind the word morning, you automatically gonna connect that. Your brain gonna connect that to morning regardless. Like you're gonna also think about both aspects and both connotations and context of morning.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna think of both, even though morning means early in the morning. That's what we used to hearing about. That's what we used to using it for. But I think that subconsciously we already know what both of the meanings are. So like with using that word, your brain not gonna be like, oh, I'm talking about the morning.
I ain't never looked at it like that.
It's just morning. You know what I'm saying? Like your brain not gonna be like, oh, yeah, like nah, you gotta tell yourself that. If you don't tell yourself that, your brain just gonna register it as morning. Like you just using that language within yourself. Like I just think we just gotta be deliberate on our language, bro, because we communicating with ourselves.
Real talk. That made me think about when everybody was saying that jump when something was funny, and they'll be like, "I'm dead." I used to be like, "What the fuck?"
Damn. Yeah, I stopped saying that, bro. I stopped saying that, bro. That's crazy.
Dead.
You brought that up.
Like, dang, I ain't get that one at all, bro. I ain't never said that one. I'm dead. Like, why would I say that?
Bro, I used to say that a lot. I used to be like, bro, I was dying laughing. Then I started realizing what I was saying. Like, I'm actually saying I'm dying.
Right.
And like, I'm not dying. I'm full of life. So it's like, we joke and like, we be joking about stuff. But, man, words are spirits. And like, we hearing this stuff and it's registering with your consciousness. So I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, because your consciousness, your subconscious is a consciousness as well, whether you are conscious of that consciousness. Like that consciousness is still working whether you are conscious of your subconscious.
Right. Always 24/7. 24/7. You right.
Mm-hmm. But man, I feel pretty good, bro. How you feeling, bro? I feel like I've been putting in work, bro. I made a lot of shit. I made a lot of products yesterday. I made some shit that I'm gonna push out on a marketing campaign. I'm gonna talk to you about it. Um, Shit, I'm just real high energy right now, bro. Cause I've been on like some grinding type shit, and also like my energy. I've been controlling my energy as far as like my contentment in life.
Mm. It's
So
important.
I've been really like meditating on my contentment. Like I'm content because I'm learning to trust God now more than ever. Like we're gonna talk about that shit. We're gonna talk about. I'm gonna tap into that a little bit on the episode. I know you want to talk about like systems, for the melanated community or whatnot, which is a great ass conversation. I can't wait to tap in. 'Cause I do want to know what you think about that as well. Like what type of systems, like what system, all of that. But we're gonna tap in right now because I'm still working. I'm working while we're on the podcast.
All right. Good stuff.
Uh, Welcome to another conversation of We Invest Different Podcasts. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
And it's time, man. I'm high energy this morning. We was able to tap in early this morning because, as we said last time, the last episode, I believe it was episode 34, episode 33, that we had some time management problems. But today, we got King Vic, and you off today. So, man, how you feeling? What you gonna do today? What's the word?
Oh man, I got it all wrote down. I know mainly, man, I want to look into this credit union that I've always had, bro. That I never messed with. Like I had it before we even jumped in the Navy, bro.
Well,
And I think my mama had set it up when I was a jit, and she just had it sit, and she just kept a little money in there just to keep it active. But I think today I'm gonna really dive in and find out what the benefits are of it, and start messing with it. But it's called Georgia United Credit Union.
where is it? Where is it located? Is it like a centralized, like you can go into the building, or is it online based?
I have no clue, bro. That's why I gotta look into it today. I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know if I can
dang.
walk in or nothing. I don't even have a card for it or nothing, bro. So I'm gonna probably try to sort through. I'm going to sort through all that today, and try to utilize it.
Okay. Hold on real quick. Let me check on my career.
CEO here, tapping in. I just wanted to remind all of our supporters and all of our listeners to share our podcast and encourage everybody to subscribe and get these great conversations. Back to the show.
We saying?
Yeah, I was just telling you what I was gonna do today, and I was telling you I was gonna look into that credit union.
Yeah.
That's something I'm gonna do today.
Oh yeah. I was saying I asked you whether it was online or not, and you said you ain't know or whatnot. But yeah. Okay, cool. What you planning to do with the account?
Basically, I don't really even today. I'm just trying to figure out what I can possibly do with the account. I know for sure I'm gonna start putting some money in there because I know a lot of time with these banks, when you're active and you got money coming in the account, it open the door to what they have to offer. So I'm
Right.
gonna just see whatever I need to do to take advantage of what they have to offer because I'm pretty sure it's some good stuff. With any credit union, it's plenty of benefits. So I'm gonna just see, where I can win it, score a few points.
And speaking of finances, bro, I don't hop back on my credit train. Like I'm about to get back solid, with working on my goals. And like for a while, I got into like a sinking place, man. I didn't want to check my credit score. Like I was embarrassed about it. But then like I'm like, bro, if you never face, your shortcomings, like you won't never start the process of improvement. Like, so I had to go through that sting of looking at my credit score and looking at what I have to do to better my credit score. And that's the first step. I feel like I'm glad that I reached that first step again because I fell off the horse in 2021. I fell off the horse as far as like my business credit, me building my personal credit, because I had a good thing going. And the thing about it, that particular year, I made good money, but I used it wrong. Like I believe I made more money last year than I made this year. But my knowledge increased this year. Like I had more income last year, but I didn't have the knowledge. But I have the knowledge this year, but my income probably stabilized, but I know what to do with the money now. So like, and I think that's a key, because like you can have less money but know what to do with it, and you be moving more productive than a person with the money without the knowledge.
Real talk.
And that's why I was telling, like, I don't know who I was talking to, but it was a wealth conversation. And it was like, I was telling that person, like, bro, it's not about making $1 million. Like, because at the end of the day, it's about your goal. Like, because I don't need $1 million cash right now to live the lifestyle I want to live. Now, if we talking legacy, if we talking foundation, if we talking generational wealth, then I need millions of dollars in assets. You see what I'm saying? I need that in assets. I don't need that in cash.
Right.
So it's like a lot of times, bro, we just want to say I'm a millionaire. Like you don't necessarily need $1 million. You just want to be a millionaire. So like I'm off of that. I used to be on that, but I'm off of that. I'm on necessity right now. Like I'm on necessity. Like, do I need, like, because I don't know, man. I could pass today, I could pass tomorrow, and I have a whole son. So like my main focus is having assets. You know what I'm saying? It's about assets. I know I can make some cash right now because yeah, my son need milk right now. Yeah, my son need diaper right now. Yes, my son need, things in this life. I understand that from a right now standpoint. But I feel like, okay, today will take care of itself and tomorrow will take care of itself as well. But I really just feel like death, I know that's coming for sure. Like death is coming for sure, and I know that.
Right.
But I also know that my son is gonna be able to eat, bro. Like I know, like I have my woman, she's a great mother. Like I know my son has a great foundation for his everyday care. So it's like I know, like, immediately my son has what he needs right now.
Right.
But in terms of financial stability and financial freedom, we need assets, because I understand that life isn't forever. But I understand that, my son, he has a better chance of living longer. I know that death don't have an age number, but for, for the tradition of things and for hope sake, we believe that our children are going to live long lives. So that's the vibe I'm on. Like, so I believe he's going to live a long life. So I'm going to prepare for when I'm not here. He needs to still have something when I'm not here.
That's right. That's right.
So this is a good ass segue into the conversation, because I don't even know how this happened. This is alignment, because it's like, you see how it's going into what we talking about?
Yeah, I was peeping that same thing, for real.
That was accidental, bro. It was like, it just did that on its own.
Oh, it wasn't accidental at all. Good God Almighty.
Right, bro. Right. Nothing is coincidental.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what's your perspective? Like, I know you don't have a child right now, so this is a good perspective for you. Like, yeah. I know, like, because for a while, man, we had conversations about how much money we want to make and whether we should focus on money goals and stuff like that. And we talked about that a lot at the beginning of our journey, like before we started the podcast. I remember, we was going to volunteer, and we need to start back volunteering, dog.
Bro, and working out, bro. Working out, bro.
I've been thinking about that for the last month, and I've been meaning to tell you, like, dang, bro, we ain't been nowhere to volunteer nowhere. Like, we ain't been doing none of the community work that we had started doing. And it was like, we was kind of feeding off of each other energy when we was doing that, because we was building up to be able to do things like that on our own. But as a collective, we was doing that with one another. And I think that was a power. I think that was a dynamic in that, like us working together and doing it together, because we do so much other things together.
Yeah, I want to get back to it too, man, because, man, it's a force, bro. And, we just, what happened, man. Our schedule got a little more crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's just about, recalibrating and, okay, let's fit this back in,
Right.
And it's possible because, it's good stuff. So, God will make a way, man. As long as we just set our mind on it and, commit, God will make a way and open up ways for us to, bring that back, man. Because it was some good stuff for real.
And we start back small. We can start back small. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just saying with the what we was just talking about.
Volunteering?
Starting small with, I was talking about me building my credit. Like we starting back building credit again. Like I made $1 payment.
That's right.
Like, that's so small. Like in the grand scheme of things, we may say, "Thank you, brother." Like,
good talk.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I was able to look at that. Like, look at my credit mirror. Like, look at myself in the mirror and be like, "Okay, this is where I am, and this is where I want to be. So let's start. Let's build." So like that $1 payment was a start for me, because I needed to initiate something.
Right.
I needed to sacrifice something. I needed to start that process. And I think that's a hurdle that we need to realize that's going to catapult us into more, success. Because success is only just setting a goal and accomplishing it.
Right.
You'll get more success once you set yourself up for it. And one of the things that you can do to set yourself up for the success is I keep losing my thought, bro.
Start small. To set yourself up for success is to start small. Is that what you were gonna say?
That might have been where I was going, because like I just had a brain for it.
Oh.
But nothing is going away. Like everything that's supposed to be said is going to be said. So I know that my thoughts are going to come back. So they're not gone.
Yeah,
especially right. That's another thing, bro, that's so powerful about the mind. I'm realizing, I know I keep talking about the pineal gland, bro, but I'm so fascinated by it. I'm sorry. Like,
no worries. Yeah, it's a good thing, man. You ain't got to apologize. That's good stuff.
It's just that, like you, like it's in your mind and your thoughts. It's not on the physical realm. So they haven't gone anywhere. We have to realize, like, I want to stop saying, "Oh, I forgot." No, you didn't forget. Like, your thought just left for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't forget it. Your mind is just, your thoughts are just in the spiritual realm. And like, sometimes, your thoughts can flow and you can potentially like just lose your thought for a minute. And I feel like once we get back on track in conversation, it'll re-enter itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it'll come back up.
Yes, sir. Certainly.
But tapping in, like I was gonna ask you a question as far as like leaving a legacy, because I'm coming from a standpoint of being a parent. But honestly, I had this mindset before I had my child. So like tap into that mindset, like as far as you leaving a legacy, because as I just said, we had a lot of conversations about making money a goal and leading with money. So like in terms of legacy, in terms of future, what are some of the things that you are preparing, or what are some of the things you feel like you should prepare, for that?
I mean, honestly, when you first said it, my mind initially went to like mission-based legacy. I know a lot of times we think about, money or assets rather. But I don't know why, but my mind went to, kind of thinking like, you might have a dude that starts a company. All right, I'm gonna say LeBron James, right? You got LeBron James, and it's like, yeah, of course, LeBron James left he left a financial legacy for his sons, I'm sure. But I mean, in real time, we're witnessing him also leave like a basketball legacy with his sons. You feel me?
Right.
So I'm thinking like, you know, how easy or how difficult would it be to raise up a child to continue whatever good work you've done, and they kind of pick it up and move with it, like big companies do. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, my son gonna take over the company type thing.
Yeah.
That's what my mind initially went, and I think that's the one that hit the hardest. But I also think that it might be difficult, or it might be kind of iffy, because who's to say that your child will be interested in doing what you did? You know? So
Yeah.
that's like my main concern. Like, what is my child gonna do? What is going, you know, are they gonna follow behind me, or am I gonna just be a way for them to follow what it is they want to do?
So you haven't made that decision, that's what you're saying.
I mean, it's hard for me too, because it's the unknown when it comes to the child. You know, I don't know what they may be interested in. Maybe God has something different for them to do. Because I've seen countless times, or not in real life, but like in movies, where it's like the dad wants the son to take over the company, but the son is kind of like, I want to do something else.
That's a fact.
You know? So it's hard for me to really say. But of course, when it comes to the money, man, I want to leave assets, real estate, man. Real estate, man. I mean, that's one thing, and land. They probably both one and the same, but I feel like you can't go wrong with that, man. You can't go wrong.
Do you feel like, okay, you just said that you was thinking about, okay, like if your son don't want to follow your footsteps. So do you feel like the business and the companies that you are building, do you feel like you want to leave that for your son? You want him to follow in your footsteps? Is that something you want to do? Like,
I can't say, bro, because I'm so like, put it this way, my parents allowed for me to choose my path. You know what I'm saying? And what it is I wanted to do.
true.
And I just see so much value in that. You know, not your life is going to be like this, and you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this, and then it all works. You know what I mean? And I understand it does work sometimes, but sometimes it don't. And you know, I just don't want to put any pressure on my child or anybody that will pull away from the creativity that God gave them, or the mission that God gave them, you know? So,
Right.
but if my child is interested, then by all means, come on, jump on this wave and let's do this.
Right.
But you know, if it's something else they want to do, then I'll jump behind them and be like, okay, let's figure this out then.
Okay, now what if you pass before, like, you find out what your son want to do with his life? And see, that's really what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
cause like, from a standpoint of leaving a legacy, that means you have to die, to leave that legacy. So that
Right.
means you're no longer here. So that's what I mean by, your son following your footsteps, and you building a company, and you building, whatever you're building, but you leaving it for him to continue. That's why I asked you that question, because I feel like I don't think my son will do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, our purpose may be totally different. So I don't really expect him to be, exactly like me, but I do expect him to have character. I do respect him to have, responsibility, accountability, and those good core values that I have. But to be like, okay, he's going to do exactly like as a profession, as like his purpose in life. Like, I don't expect my son to do that. Like right now, I don't expect him to do exactly like me, but I do expect to instill in him, good character traits, you
Right.
know. But like, if I die, that's what I want that's what I want. That's what I'm dependent on. Like, I'm dependent on the training that I gave him. I'm dependent on the knowledge, that I was able to hand down to him, because that's going to instill in him the principles that will lead him into his purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like once you go throughout life being the best version of yourself, or trying to be the best version of yourself, Like, I think that's how you end up like falling into your purpose just by default. That's what I really feel like. Like if a person don't know their purpose, just start being the best version of yourself. Like just start looking at yourself in the mirror and start improving. And I guarantee you, like you're gonna fall into it. Like you might not be trying, like it might not be your mindset to be like, okay, I'm finna change my life and find my purpose. You might not be saying that, but just because you just in the energy of improving yourself and you got the mindset of like, okay, I need to stop doing this, I need to stop doing that, I'm sacrificing this so I can get something better. With that mindset, you automatically move towards your purpose in life, just by default.
Makes sense.
Because that's that energy, that's that God energy. You know what I'm saying? That's that God energy. You really tapping into your discipline, you tapping into your vision, you tapping into your creativity, because we were born to be creators. And like we're not born just to live and write. Like we're supposed to be exercising our abilities. And so when you start tapping into the greatest part of yourself, you know, God recognizes that. God recognizes when you sacrifice something for better. That because when you sacrificing something for better, everything that's better or everything that's good, I believe it comes from God. Like everything good and true and pure comes from God. So when you moving closer and closer to purity, you're getting closer and closer to God. So like subconsciously, like I said, your thoughts comes from a spiritual realm. So like when you on that level of consciousness, you have to be inspired by the higher power because that's what it all comes from. You see what I'm saying? So just by making that simple move, by just changing your mindset to a growth mindset, a mind of improvement, a mind of growth, like it will kind of catapult you. It will literally do this for you. You will literally start going towards different places in life, different opportunities, meeting different people. Because damn, I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm excited talking about this because I see this shit in my mind. Like I visualize this shit, like because I realize why they say you gotta watch what you put out to the world, bro. I realize that. You know why? And I'm gonna we're gonna tap into the topic, and I'm gonna let you start off on the topic that you want to talk about. But I want to explain this. Okay, like everything that exists, right, has energy, right? Every form of matter has energy. So with that being said, when you are in a negative vibration, when you are in a negative frequency, that is bouncing off everything that's matter. Everything is matter. Everything takes up space. So that energy is bouncing off every single thing you come in contact with. So that includes people, that includes animals, that includes everything that exists. That energy is bouncing off from going from you to them, and it's gonna do what? Bounce right back to you. So it's energy and frequencies bouncing back and forth all the time. That's why we have to be deliberate and intentional on the energy that we put off, because it's bouncing off things. And that's why when you walk into the room with negative energy, people can feel it because that energy is bouncing off other forms of matter.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But bro,
You don't
go
even got to
ahead.
say nothing. You don't even really got to say nothing for a person to tell too. That's the crazy part.
Facts. I had to go on that little rant, man. My bad.
I dig.
But man, go ahead, bro. We can definitely tap in to this topic, man. This great topic of conversation that you wanted to tap into.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to talk about melanated people having their own systems. You know, you sent me that clip of what does he like to be called? Now I know he don't want to be called Kanye West. He changed his name or something like that. I try to respect what people want to be called.
I don't even know what he wanted to be called, honestly.
Oh, I don't forget, but I'll just say Kanye West for now. Yeah, that's what his mama name. If mama named him Kanye West, I'm gonna call him Kanye West. I guess you don't know where that came from, huh? Huh?
What you say, bro? My bad.
I say you don't know where that came from.
Which one?
What I just said. If mama called him Kanye West, I'm gonna call him Kanye West.
Hey, bro. I mean, that's what we know him as, bro.
No, I'm saying you don't know what movie I got that from. Coming to America 1.
What he say again?
No, like they were talking about Muhammad Ali, and then somebody was like, his name is Cassius Clay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they was like, his name is Muhammad Ali. And Buddy said, if I'm gonna name him Cassius, I'm gonna call him Cassius.
Yeah. True. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Kanye West was just talking about how I forgot what he was. Can you remind me what he was talking about exactly, bro?
On the interview?
Yeah, you sent me that clip. And I know it just inspired me to
He was talking about intelligence.
Okay.
And what the word nigga mean.
Yeah, but he said something else that sparked the inspiration to talk about melanated people having their own. It was something he said that I can't remember off the top of my head, bro.
I mean, I don't really know what you're looking for verbatim, but that was the gist of the conversation. Like us having like ownership of, shit, everything that we do.
Okay, yeah. Because he was referring to how the Jews was basically, running the industry in short.
Right.
So yeah, man, that just made me think about like, and I see it happening, but I just wanted to really shed light and talk about the importance of that and the benefit of it, man.
Right.
Because I mean, that's the power, that's the control, that's the true influence,
Right.
I think that's important for us to do. But I know it mainly, man, when I think of melanated people controlling their own, my mind always goes back to what I discovered about the Black Panther Party. And I always found it very intriguing in how they had some sort of their own policing system.
Right.
And that's like number one thing I think would benefit melanated people, having our own policing system.
Boy, what? Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because it's like, I think about like this case that happened a while ago where I believe a mother and a son was getting into it, or the son was kind of spazzing out, you feel me?
Yeah.
And the police somehow ended up getting called. And the police arrived and, they tried to get control of the situation. But they either, I want to say they used some real strong force on the child. A part of me thinking that they may have killed him, but I don't think that's what it was. But I do believe he was physically harmed. And come to find out that the boy actually had mental health issues. Like, not just like I'm depressed, but like real, like retarded type stuff. You feel me?
Right.
And that was just like, damn, man, if it had been somebody that was in that community that was familiar with that family, maybe they would have came and handled that situation a little different.
Right.
But you sending the police that's detached from the community, don't know the people in the community, don't understand the problem that they're going through, and you trying to get him to come and mediate a situation when he has no background information.
Exactly, man.
So that's just an instance where I believe, having our own police system would be of great benefit, because we could, we know our people. We could step in and have a little bit more compassion and, not be so aggressive. Because we gonna love, because one thing about Black people, man, y'all know a lot of people like to paint the picture of we kill each other and disrespect each other. And of course, yeah, that goes on, but that goes on in every race.
Right.
But one thing about Black people, man, we show major love, bro. We show major love. I think we show more love than any culture out here, bro.
Yeah, we really do. And we're forgiving people.
Forgiving people too, bro.
Yeah, for real.
So I just think if, when you dealing with that, man, when you're dealing with that type of people, it's better to meet love with love. Cause all that tough guy stuff these police be doing, man, it ain't even necessary all the time. I get it is sometimes, but not all the time. But I mean, what else can they do when they out of touch with the community? So I just think that if we had our own people in place, our own police, I think that a lot of situations would go a lot of different ways, and it won't be so much of a. When I think of melanated people having their own, I just immediately think policing system, bro. And that's pretty much it, man.
Okay, that's the first thing. That's the first thing. The police system. That's what you're saying. That's the first step that you feel like should be looked at first.
I don't know about first. I can't say that, but I know that's just what immediately comes to my mind. Because I see, just considering all the detrimental things that has happened when it comes to white people and black people. I mean, white police and black people. You know what I mean?
Bro, let's talk about that, because like this is my true feelings about the police system, and I'm not gonna get into like the racial thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm getting into. But one thing that I did see that's causing a lot of problems in law enforcement is the pay. Like, for one, I don't want nobody hungry protecting me. Why are these police officers starving and they're supposed to protect our community? So it's like they out here hungry and they trying to survive and feed their families just like the rest of us, but they're in charge of our safety. Why? They should be one of the top paying, policemen should be one of the top paying jobs a person could have. And see, another thing is that it don't take much for nobody to become a police officer, and that has to change as well.
Indeed.
So it's like they basically just getting a force of people. You know what I'm saying?
And you made me think of this too. All police need to have hands, bro. If you ain't got no hands, you don't need to be no police. Period.
If you ain't got no hands?
Yes.
What you mean, like know how to fight?
Yes.
Oh, bro, these people I feel like these people be knowing how to fight, bro. It's the training. Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they just want as many officers on the force as possible. They worrying about bodies, like police bodies. I don't think they're worrying about the pay and stuff like that. I don't think they're worrying about the pay. I don't think they're worrying about, the bigger picture. I know that they could fight, bro. They know how to defend themselves, but I do think
nah, bro. I'm
the
talking
training.
about I ain't saying you know how to fight, bro. I'm talking about like have hands, bro. Like to the point where it's like your first resort. Like if you come up on a person and they unarmed, your first resort shouldn't be to grab your pistol. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the training.
You need
That's
to
what I'm
have
saying,
hands
bro.
to the point. And that's what I mean. Like, and I just said that in response to what you said about the training. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to be, if you coming up on a person that's unarmed, you need to be able to be confident enough to be like, okay, I can handle this.
Right.
Not, I'm gonna automatically grab my pistol. I'm gonna automatically grab my taser. Like, no, hand-to-hand combat.
So okay, that made me gather a question. Like, so you feel like it's a communication problem? Like, I feel like it's a communication problem too, because like they don't know how to communicate with people.
Yeah, bro, certainly.
So it's
Certainly.
like a lot of situations can be diffused just off effective communication. Like, you can diffuse a situation by your communication, and it's like they be so belligerent already, like when they don't even know the ins and outs of the situation. Like, you're supposed to be here to help the situation, so why aren't you getting more information about what's happening? Right. So it's like, especially if nobody is in like harmful danger, like if there's not a deadly weapon on the scene, then you need to be using your words and not your physical body to communicate. Like, you shouldn't have to get physical to communicate. Like, I feel like if nobody is getting hurt, there's no deadly weapon, on the scene, I feel like all it takes is just communication. And a person could like communicate with the officers and tell them exactly what's going on, and it won't escalate. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff is just bad communication, bro.
Yeah, you right about that, man. And all that. I mean, and I just feel like the communication would automatically be better if we were policing our own. Because it's almost like I just imagine the police being trained up. If we had our own police being trained up, as in, like, really, we are here to protect our people. You know what I mean? We are really here to protect and serve. I mean, I know that's what the police right now say, but that ain't really what they on when you look at it. To me, it looks like we are here to meet our quotas.
Exactly. Exactly, bro. They are hungry. They are out here hungry. They out here not having no money. Like they barely, like they don't make much money. So it's like they out here. This is a real job for them. This is a job, a way for them to feed their family. It's not a sense, not every officer, but I'm saying like for the majority, it's a job. It's not like a sense of duty or a sense of citizenship. You know what I'm saying? Like a sense of service. Like some people do that. Some people do serve the community by becoming a police officer. But I'm saying like for the majority, bro, like it's not for service. It's like, okay, like I know a lot of people in the Black community, like in the melanated community recently, they become COs, like they work in the prisons or whatnot. Like they enter the law enforcement industry because they need a job.
Right.
Like it's because they just need a job. So it's not like, oh, I wanted to do this because the system it needs it or whatnot. Like some people have that approach,
Yeah, some
but,
people do.
but for the most part, like people just need money. And I think that's a big dynamic when it comes to our safety. Like I said, I don't want nobody hungry watching over me because then they're going to take what I have. They want to take advantage of me. So it's like, hey, that's what's going on. But I do want to get further into like the systems that we need. Okay, like what Black police, like melanated policemen and melanated communities, what would that look like? Like how would we go about that process? Like, okay, if we could do that, if let's say, okay, uh if we was able to come up with a plan and we could put together, like, do you feel like we would listen to ourselves in our community, or will like we have a bunch of police deaths? Because like and I do feel like it'll take a while for us to be able to police our communities, first of all, because we have to learn to listen to one another, and we have to value, you know, one another's opinion, and we have to value ourselves and value each other's lives. And I think that's a whole that we'll have to go through, like mindset trainings in our communities. Like we'll be really have to put in work on that aspect before we can be policed, bro.
Yeah, and like I think a major thing to accomplish that would be the police actually getting involved in the community outside of when there's some bullshit going on.
Right.
Like pull up to the schools just to kick it. Pull up to go to a restaurant in the Black community. Just pull up, talk to folk. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Just show people you fuck with them. And then I think when stuff started to go down, I think Black people will be a little less aggressive in their response because it's like, okay, I see this police. He really fuck with us. I know I'm on my bullshit. I know I'm probably dead wrong while the police here, but I've seen this man before. He really be around here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And maybe that'll help the response and help the communication too, because it go both ways. You know.
It does. It does. And I agree, bro. But
Mm-hmm.
let's tap into, okay, we just went over what, okay, that is a one important thing that the melanated community need. We do need, you know, policemen in our community.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, when you think about Black people having their own, what comes to mind for you?
Uh,
Melanated people.
I really think that we just need community, like a structured community. Like we need a group of people, a community of people that the melanated community can come to when it's needed. Like, okay, like resources, land, refuge, all things that we would need for independence. But we need a community that has that stuff. So we need like all the powerful people that has resources to come together so we can start the foundation of having, you know, a community for melanated people. Like, okay, you have different towns or whatever in every state of where, okay, like, yeah, you know, a lot of Mexicans stay over there and they got restaurants, they got grocery stores, they got all of this stuff. But it's like, okay, what area can we go to where it's just like a whole strip of only black businesses in one area? Like, it's always scattered out. It's always scattered out. Like, we'll have a black business here, then right beside it is a white business. Then go down a little bit more, you might have another melanated owned company. But for the most part, we're always placed next to or within the same radius as other uh what's the word? Competition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, competition. It's not like, okay, everybody on the strip is melanated and we all thriving and spending money with each other. It's not like that, because that's what Black Wallstreet was. Like, not only did we have different stores and different businesses, we were able to support one another. Like, I'm getting an echo, bro. Like, is it
I
you
don't
got
hear one.
you got headphones on or something?
No,
Dang, I can't stand when it does that. But yeah,
I'm gonna tell you what there might be a little later.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
But I was gonna ask you, why do you find significance in, you know, black businesses being close together, like in one spot, concentrated like that? Like, what's the benefit of that?
because it's hard for the money to leave the community when everybody is using what the community is offering.
Mm.
So it's like we got a strip of businesses that's needed though. Like, it's not a whole bunch of stuff that, okay, we all have the same things and you got the same businesses just on the same strip. Like, nah, we have businesses that are needed in the community, but we understand that, okay, if Shauna down the street is making shoes, I don't need to make shoes unless I can go into business with Shauna and we can make shoes together.
Right.
So I'm not going to create competition with Shauna because I want to make shoes too. Like, no, let's come together. Let's form a partnership. Let's create a business, a corporation, and let's bring our gifts together and let's build a legacy.
Right.
That's what we need. You know what I'm saying? We don't need competition. We need collaboration. So it's like, if every business on the strip, right, is black, but it serves a need within the melanated community, we spending money with each other. So, okay, like, if Shauna, like I said, was making shoes, then that means I need to be applying myself to make suits.
Right.
Like, I need to see what value, like, what can I bring to the community that the community need, and I think that'll be the foundation to us starting independence. Okay, like, okay, now we have the clothes, that's physical appearance. Okay, now we have the guy that has been studying herbs and herbal life and natural healing. You have some people that's on the block providing a service for that. Now, that's a service that everybody need in our melanated community. But like I said, it may be another person that have that same goal, that have that same desire. So you're gonna join hands with him. No, everybody is gonna just support and keep building on the community and spending money with each other. And it's like, because everybody need the businesses that's being created on this script. That means everybody is gonna spend money because you don't have a choice. This the only store on this block that sells this. And that's how we keep the money inside. We don't need competition. We don't need five people selling the same thing and like being competitive with each other. And it's like, why? We the same family. We got the same goal as a collective. So why we shouldn't work against each other? We should work together. And I think that's why that's one of the reasons why I see that being one of the main things that I see the melanated community doing to improve.
That's right. And one thing I noticed though in the black community, or when it comes to melanated business, is that sometimes melanated people may have to charge a little bit more, you know,
Mm.
and sometimes other melanated people may shy away because of that. Do you have any idea to try to possibly combat that issue? You know, to get people in the spirit of, well, I know it's a little more, but I'm gonna support them anyway. Like, how can we make that more of a thing?
I think it starts with culture. We have to change the culture, bro, and that takes one step at a time.
Yeah,
Because to change the culture, you have to change the mindset.
the mindset, yes, sir.
And like I said, bro, it's very important that on this strip that we stick together. With us seeing that, we might not have the right mindset off the bat, but just us seeing the community work together, you're gonna fall in line. Because one of the main reasons why this hasn't happened, because we're used to seeing white businesses win. Like when we walk down the street or when we drive down the street, what we see white businesses flourishing.
Yeah.
So that does something to the psyche. When you only see white businesses flourish and you don't see a bunch of black businesses flourishing, that's your psyche, that's your consciousness, that's what you see, that's your environment. But when you change the environment and you start walking down the streets and you see black melanated business after melanated business after melanated business, and they all are serving the community and they all are successful, that does something to your psychology, because you're seeing people that look like you winning and they all own businesses. So that changed the whole narrative that we have grown up thinking, that we can't run shit, that we can't own our own, that we can't be self-sufficient, which is a lie. We just have to build and stick together. That's all we have to do. Like, and stop trying to be equal, stop trying to fit in, stop trying to stand next to cultures that we deem superior.
So to me, it sounds like you saying, like, it sounds like prioritizing the value, man, our values as a collective.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I fuck with that.
Knowing self, bro, because it's like once we learn who we are, because like bro, we kings and queens, and that's why as you notice, I've been using the word melanated instead of black. I'm trying to break that habit, because black is not a color. Black is all colors, like you said, a couple episodes ago. So it's not a color, it's everything.
I ain't say that.
Oh, you ain't say that?
Uh-uh.
I was maybe talking to my woman. We maybe was having a conversation about this, but yeah, black isn't a color, but it can be made into all colors.
That's a new one for me.
So yeah, like that's why. But in the dictionary, the word black always means something bad, always something sinister, always something the opposite of light. Because light means purity. Light means godly. Light means it's always has a connotation of something good. But darkness, black, which is why they say black. They could have said dark people. They could have just said dark-skinned people, but instead they said the word black. That does something to the psyche, and we can't even break the culture of calling ourselves black, because you don't see anything when you say the word black. Only thing you see is darkness. When you say the word black, what you visualize? You only see darkness. That's all I see when I say the word black. I don't see nothing light. I don't see nothing godly. I don't see nothing creative. I just see a fog. I don't even see fog, because fog got color. I see just nothing.
Right. And I think, I firmly believe that was an intentional thing, bro. Because like what popped in my mind the other day, I forgot what I was doing, what I was reading. But are you familiar with a lot of melanated people considering themselves Israelites?
Yeah, I definitely heard that, my guy.
Yeah. So I just looked at the word Israelite.
Ooh.
So it's like they might step in and be like, oh, no, we're going to call them black.
Israelite?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, Israelite. Israelite.
Dang, I ain't even look at it that deep. Dang.
That's what I thought you were saying.
No, I was just looking at the light at the end of the word, but Israelite.
That's a verbiage. You see that verbiage?
Bro, that's a t-shirt, bro. Bro, that's a t-shirt.
Look at that, bro.
That's
Look at
hard.
that, bro.
That's hard. That's crazy.
Is real light.
That's crazy, bro.
And we are God's people. That's what that means.
Wow.
Man,
Freaking
we
wow.
always be going into stuff like we didn't talk. I didn't think about this before we started talking. Like, that's why I feel, man, these conversations needs to be in every household. Like, I don't care. You don't necessarily have to have a particular topic. I just think that when we get to thinking and we get to critical thinking and we get to having these conversations on a higher plane, a higher frequency, then you tap into the spiritual realm, which has infinite information. So when you tap into the spiritual realm that has infinite information, what are you? Like, where's your mind? If you can keep your mind there, your mind is infinite. It has infinite information. So the more you tap into the capacities of your mind, which is in the spiritual realm, which is where God is, and God is all knowing, he's everything. So with that level of consciousness, that's why you have access to another level of information, because there are so many things on the spiritual realm. And like we say, like, it's more than one God, bro. Like, it's one all-knowing, all-powerful God that's in charge of everything, every living being on the planet that exists. He's in charge of, but he's not the only God. So on the spiritual realm and on the spiritual plane, like, there are spirits. You have spirits on the spiritual realm. So I mean, you tapping into all different gods. You know what I'm saying? You tapping into different things. You know what I'm saying? Because like, God is so huge that he can't just be one. He is one, but I'm saying within him, within that one is so much in his one. Like, you got the spirit of love. Now, even though we say the spirit of love, God is love. Even though we say the spirit of love, but we could say the spirit of God because God is love. But we specify it because God is his essence is so bountiful.
We can't fully explain it ever.
Exactly. So it's like, that's what you tapping into when you become a more spiritually minded person. And that's why people have to be careful with being so open, because the spiritual realm, like I said, God isn't the only God on the spiritual realm. That's why you have to be deliberate and intentional when you tapping in, when you praying. Like, people don't know that when you pray, you tapping into the spiritual realm. It's your verbiage. It's who you talking to. It's directing your energy and focus. What is your attention? Who you talking to? That's why it matters.
Right. That's why when I meditate, the first thing I say, because I done experienced some of that other stuff in that spiritual realm. But that's why now, before I meditate, I always say, hallelujah, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. That's how I set my intentions. So I don't get involved in, any other stuff that might try to, influence me. Because it's out there.
And you're grounded, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're grounded. You're grounded, in your heart.
Yeah, that too, for sure.
Yeah, I know words are powerful and you have to speak it out sometimes, but God know your heart. So because your heart is grounded in truth and in faith, like, whether you say it out your mouth or not, like, your heart is lined up with what your meditation is. So it's like, yeah, we know that we have to consciously say that out loud, but God already know what our belief system is, bro. And that's what's so powerful about it. He said your tongue can utter things that the heart don't follow.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be saying stuff all day, but your heart be so far from it. So it's
Real
like,
talk.
I could say, oh, I believe in God, and like, in my heart, I despise him, because a man can't see my heart. A man can only hear my voice. He can't see what's in my heart. He can't see my deepest desires and my secrets, but God knows. He knows everything about our heart. And see, that's why we can't fool him. He's literally going by your heart's desire. Like,
Very tough.
what's really in your heart? What you really feel about God? Like, what you really feel about me? God knows that. He knows what you really feel about him.
Real talk. I like what you say. I like how you talked about the heart, bro, because I added something to my affirmations last week. Basically saying that God is in control of my heart. Because a lot of times the stuff that I do, whether it's perceived good or bad, it starts in my heart. And, you know, it might be things about myself that I would want to change, you feel me? And I'll find myself trying to just change, you know, my I guess you could say physical thing. Like, for example, like smoking this vape, you feel me?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll try to be like, okay, I'm gonna leave my vape at the house, or you know, I'm only gonna smoke it at this time, which are good things. You know what I mean? I ain't saying that we shouldn't try to change ourselves, but ultimately it starts in my heart. But any change that I want to make, God has to move my heart to that change.
Right.
So that's
Right.
why, and then sometimes, like, when I would fail on trying to change something about myself, I'll feel bad and beat myself up. But it's like, no, don't beat yourself up, Victor. You know, God is in control of your heart. God is in control of your heart. And it's happened countless times, even with that liquor, bro. Like, I tried to quit liquor just by not drinking it. But God had to move my heart to that place. You feel me?
Yeah, you tapping in, bro.
You know? So I love that you brought up how that heart is the significant part. And man, it just opened up my mind to so many things. Like, people can say anything to you, man. I initially thought about snakes in the grass. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure.
Folks be real snakes out here. And they'll say the right thing and move the right way and have you thinking they just a stand-up motherfucker, you feel me? But they heart, where they heart at?
And see, that's why. And see, this is the training that we need in the community for us to be able to police our own. For
Right.
us to have the mindset of supporting one another regardless.
Right,
Because
gotta
it's
be in the
like
heart.
when we really see our value and we really tap into the spirit of love, and when I look at you, I see myself. See, that's thing. See, that's spiritual. And see, I know when you talked about Israel light, see, we are the light of the world. See, a lot of people don't believe in the Bible, and I'm not gonna get into that, but we are the light of the world. Who is the light of the world? God's children. Who are God's children? Israelites.
The
Now
salt of the earth.
that's God's natural family. Now I do want to make this distinction. The children of Israel were God's chosen people. So now, although like, now we can get real technical about our blood, DNA, and all of that stuff, but that's a hole that we don't want to dive into right now. Because I mean, we could trace all the way back, but we haven't done that, and we're not able to do that right now. So, for the sake of just real tangible evidence, we know that from what we know and what the information that we gathered from what has been taught to us, we do realize that we wasn't born in Israel, right? We do realize that that our parents probably wasn't born in Israel or Africa as a whole.
Right.
So the thing is that we have to then have a spiritual mindset to realize that your spiritual father is where you got your spirit from. And so we believe that we got our spirit and our soul from God the Father, but he sent his son. He came down through his son, through Jesus Christ, so that we can be reconnected through him because we fell off. So that made him our what? Spiritual father. So now, because through baptism in Jesus' name and in his blood, we become a part of his what? Family. So that's why we call ourselves spiritual Israel. So we
Mm-hmm.
are Israelites, but we have the spirit. It's the spirit. We don't have the blood of an Israelite because we are Gentiles, and Gentile just means non-Jew. So we're not Gentile. We are Gentiles. We're not actual like flesh. Well, I can't say that. I really can't say that because we may be able to DNA wise, we may be able to trace back to Israel. So I can't really say that we're not Israelites by DNA. But like we were just saying, for the sake of knowledge and what we do know to be fact, we could say that spiritually, we are Israelites
Right.
because our belief system is on that frequency. We believe that Christ, which was a Jew, he was born King of the Jews, right? King
Mm-hmm.
of Kings, Lord of Lords. He came to the Jews and they received him not. So that gave the Gentiles opportunity to be saved, not the flesh, but through the spirit. So by us adopting that belief system, we become Israelites.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. And I always, and when I was thinking about this stuff, I just thought like, one indication to tell if a person is does the word of God resonate with them at all? Like, I ain't saying you got to be like a super Christian, but does that word of God touch your heart in any kind of way? Because that's who it's for. It's for his people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I paid. And I just also look at black people here in America, bro. Like, if you go look at the Bible and the different stories with the Israelites, it's almost like we live in the same thing in a sense. I mean, a lot of times when God was upset with the Israelites, there was punishment. Whether it was they was taken from their land or what they had was taken away or they got sick. And then I just look at the condition of black people right now in America, bro.
Black people, I mean, yeah, melanated people all over the world.
All over the world for that matter, yeah. I mean, it's like we're the most creative, we give more to the world than any culture, bro. But we're the most oppressed at the same time.
And who did that? Who lived out that same story? Who lived out that same narrative?
Exactly.
Who?
I say the Israelite.
Christ. He was the
Oh, well,
first.
yeah,
He was
true
the
that.
first example of how they're going to treat the children of God. He was the
Dang.
begotten Son of Christ. He was the Son of God was Christ. So he was the first example of everybody, what everybody was going to have to go through when you become a son of God. And how you become a son of God, you just become a believer of God.
Mm.
So God got many sons, but that was just on his only begotten son, meaning it came directly from him. That was him. Like he literally put a seed in Mary for a child to be born. Like it had to go through the natural process. It went through the natural process. Like Mary had a 9-month like labor, pregnancy. Like he went through a natural process, but God put the seed in her though. Like God made that happen. So that's why, like, he just used the body, bro. It was just a corpse. Like Christ was just a body for God to move in. He actually made that seed though. Like that was God's seed in Mary. So that was his actual son. Now we wasn't born like that. Me and you, we weren't born like that. We came from our mother and father. So although, you know, we are sons of God, we're not sons of God from our seed. We are sons of God through our belief system. We are sons of God through our spirit.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's how we become we become Israelites, bro. And like I said, Christ was the first example. Like we all have to go through that damnation. We all have to go through that condemnation in this world because all of the sons of God are going to be looked at as but less than. Like, look at how they treated Christ, man. Just look at that dynamic. And we're not going to stay here, but just quick, like real, like 10 seconds, just think about how they looked at him. He, like, they demeaned his name. They degraded him. They talked about him being things that he wasn't. So you have to think about that mentally. And then it also said, arm yourself likewise with the same mind. So that same mindset of knowing that this is not your home, the same mindset of knowing that we are the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We are Christ's people. We are the family of God. We are
What you
mean
by this is not your home?
Well, we are pilgrims in this land because our belief system is that our home is the home that God is going to create when he destroyed the heaven and the earth. He's going to bring our new home and our new bodies back with him. So we're just moving here. That's why we say we are not of the world. We're just in the world. Our mind and our consciousness supposed to be what? On the spiritual realm. Indeed. We're supposed to be always thinking of things eternal. But we're so focused on the physical realm, bro. That's why we go through so many problems. We're stuck on this realm and our consciousness is not growing. So it's like when you stay on the physical realm, you're going to have physical problems all the time. All the time. It's going to always interrupt your flow. Now, I know that's a part of life because we do have a flesh body and we have to be on the physical realm to live. But there's another level of life. Now, we are living, but this isn't life. We really living to die on the physical realm. But real life, like eternal life, exists on the spiritual realm. And how do you enter that? You have to enter it in your mind first. So that's how you get there. You get to the spiritual realm in your mind first. Arm yourself with the same mind. Have the mind of Christ. See, we're going into. See, I'm not trying to go there because we tapping into. We want to be specific in our conversation. So what's something else, bro, that you see in the Well, I'll tell you something else. I feel like in the melanated community that we need to have a system around. School curriculums.
Yes, sir. That's what I was thinking when you said that. Same as that thing.
Tap in. What's your perspective on school curriculums and how that will also benefit our independent community? Because that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about systems that we can build, for our people to be independent and self-sufficient. This is a pivotal part, bro. This is a pivotal part. So talk about that.
Man, first and foremost, man, we need to get that history straightened out, man.
Damn, I knew you was gonna go there.
No black kid, melanated kid need to be going to school, going to history class, and all they hearing about is some white folk and black folk being slaves. Because like you said earlier, stuff like that impacts the psyche.
Yes, sir.
That's all I got to say about that, John.
And I think, man, that's so powerful what you just said. Because, like, do you know how much of a change society will have just by that one thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God, bro. Just by that one thing, if we stop being indoctrinated by false history, so we'll feel inferior. Like,
right.
We
out the gate now. This is out the gate.
Out the gate, bro.
You feel me?
Yes.
Elementary school.
And not even to mention that the maps in the history books are screwed. Like, they paint the picture. Now I understand that when you create a globe, things like the shape of things can be kind of, altered, which is understood. But how did y'all manage to alter the melanated continents? That's not a coincidence. Why are only those continents smaller than their actual size? But you were able to enlarge all of the other countries and continents, though.
Right.
So that's why okay, like we have to not only learn our own history, we have to also learn our geography, because that's how you will know that you were a king or a queen. It is about location. It is about tribe. It is about community. It is all of that is important.
Right.
So like they understand that we're not going to know ourselves not from geography, nor will we know ourselves from history. So it's like you really can't even find where you come from because they done messed up the maps. Then we're going a little too far, but let's
Be
we always
yourself, man.
let's come
Be
back.
yourself, man.
Man, I'm saying let's come back because I wanna also have, I want to have some privacy. So I want to set our audience up to get content that we'll have discussions, deep discussions about certain things, certain topics.
Gotcha.
And I really want that to be on our independent network.
Gotcha.
So we'll have time for that. And that's kind of what I want to explain to you about, when we get off the pod, we really need to have a little smaller, like 20-minute meeting.
Okay.
But yeah, bro, definitely curriculums. Is it anything else about curriculums that you feel could be improved for our community? I'm not talking. See, we have to stop. See, me first, my mindset, I'm talking about me. I'm being transparent right now. Like, even when I think about improving the melanated community, I compare our community to their community. And it's like, we're still trying to compare. We're still trying to level up to them. We're still trying to be equal to them. No, we have to come up with our own type of system from our own naturally who we are as a culture. Like, we have to come up with our own system as a culture that what's the word? That resonates, that agrees with our inner being, bro. That agrees with our inner self, who we really are as people. Like, their system is not naturally what we're supposed to be feeding ourselves. So like we have to literally unlearn that whole foundation of learning. So who was to say that the way we know school to be, like going to school, going to a building, being in the classroom, who said that that's how we're supposed to be in school?
Real talk. I always felt like school was too long. It's all right. Let's go do something. That's how I always felt. Let's go put our hands on something. What we sitting up in here for 8 hours straight for? Let's go create something. You know what I mean?
That's all, bro. Because you got to think about it. We are creatures of habit. Every animal, every species, every creature will become a slave to their environment over time. So like if you set a child in this environment where they being drilled on this certain thing every day, day in, day out, that becomes a part of them, bro. So like you said, we have been learning this like since elementary school. So like you can't even think of a new system because you haven't seen no other system outside of the system that you've seen.
Right.
So you have to compare the only system that you've seen because that's the only system in your consciousness. That's why you got to tap in to another consciousness. So it's like, I know for a fact that I'm not supposed to be sitting in a box for 8 hours. Like, if you just sit back and think, go to another level of consciousness, go to another level of frequency. If you just think about creativity and imagination, when has imagination ever been in a fucking box? Never.
Real tough.
Imagination isn't imagination if you put it in a box. That's what make imagination. You thinking outside the box. That's your capability of thinking outside the box. But they put us in boxes immediately at daycare. You getting put in a box. Like, come on, man. We're really supposed to be living in nature. Honestly, homes are unnatural.
But you taking it though, boy. For real.
We just supposed to have shelter, and all shelter is just a cover over your head.
Yeah, man. I think we got locked into them conveniences, bro. I was thinking about that the other day too. Like America is the land of creating. America is the land of making conveniences necessities.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir.
Well, if it's certain stuff, I've seen people go to a fast food restaurant, and because the drink machine don't got Coca-Cola, they making a big old fuss about it. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm probably one of them.
Well, real talk, man. That just goes to show, like, dang, some of this stuff we don't really need. I mean, it's a blessing to be able to get this stuff real quick, boom, right there. But we so locked in on it. It's like we look at it as a huge problem if something that ain't really necessary ain't in place. Cause we done gotta, it's like we addicted to it. The conveniences, the not being in nature. You know what I mean?
Yes, bro.
We mad if we gotta be outside all day long. As adults, kids love it, but they more in tune with, somehow kids be more in tune with that spiritual thing, seem like, and it's like the older we get, the farther away we get from it. But as adults, oh man, we ain't trying to be outside all day long.
Man, come on, man. What you think happened to fishing? Fishing used to be so big in the melanated communities. Like, we always fished. Like, growing up, man, we fished so much.
Word.
But now we barely fish.
Word.
So there you go. You see that we don't even like to hunt anymore. Like, we don't like to hunt. We don't like to go out and get things. We don't like to go out and search. We don't like to be patient. We don't like to wait. So, right.
Let DoorDash be late. Let DoorDash be late.
Come on, man.
We spazzing.
Come on, man. So this, man, it's psychological, bro. It's like like I said, it's the things that we have been seeing. But when we come back together, like I said, if we have to come together, we have to start living together. Stop trying to move out of your community to go to the white folks community. Stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. We have to keep our businesses in our communities. Don't try to, like, we live in College Park. We live in Riverdale, College Park area, the South Side area, South Fulton area, Clayco area. So it's like, okay, instead of taking your business to Alpharetta, build your business right here. And I think that's why College Park looked the way it looked, because everybody want to put their businesses in Atlanta.
But it's such a major risk, though, cuz. That's the other thing, man. Because, unfortunately, man, Black people, everybody don't got that right mindset just yet. And I can understand the business owner being like, okay, I got this opportunity to put up my brick and mortar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just watched on the news last night. They just did a smash and grab on this business. Then the night before, I saw this business shut down because ain't nobody coming to shop with them in this community. I might need to take my talents to Alpharetta. You know what I mean? But that just made me think about what you said initially. The mindset change needs to come first.
Yes, bro.
The mindset change. That's a collective,
But I mean, it should happen at the same time, I feel like. When you having a mindset change, you have to execute some of the stuff that you're learning. So
I get that too.
Just by you, okay, like, I feel like, okay, this is one of the things that we collectively do, and this is what I plan to do with the line company. Like, you just got to be consistent. First of all, that's the number one thing. We have consistently seen white businesses flourish on our blocks, in our communities, liquor stores on every corner, etc.
True.
Now, we've been seeing this for years, more than we've been alive. So maybe it's going to take that long for us to be the same way. Now, we have to understand that, and we have to be on that type of time. We got to be like, okay, this is what we're looking at. Is it going to be an easy process? No. Is it going to be a quick process? No. But it's like one business at a time. But while we're doing this, we need to have mindset trainings, like you said, and not only just do mindset trainings, we got to hire our own people.
Facts.
Like, we got to hire within the community. We have to create those jobs so we don't have to leave our communities to go to work and fend for our families. Like, we have to hire our own people. That's the key. Because, like,
True.
we still working for masters. Like, if you leaving your community, bro, to go work in another community for a man that's not even your people. So it's like, we need to bring jobs to our own communities, bro. We need to start owning the jobs in our own communities, feed our own peoples, feed our own children. Because it's like, even that is a mindset shift. Like, I work for a business in my community. I work for a Black-owned business in my community, and I get paid on time. Like,
You're right.
just that's a flex.
It is, but on the business on the end, man, it's a big risk. It's a big risk, man.
Stay with me. Now, that's just only one business, though. And I understand that you have a lot of people in this community. So one business is not going to do too much, but it's a start. Like I said, those people that you hire have families. So, like, every person that you hire, she going to go back home and tell her folks where she work at. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's going to bring you clientele. So they finna tell the way you treat your employees is everything, right? Okay, now you treat your employees like you want to be treated at these jobs that you leave in your community for. Because you're not gonna get treated like shit anyway when you go to these communities. So just let our people know, like, we don't get treated the best when we go work at these places. So you might as well come back home and treat your employees the way you want to be treated. So let's treat our people the way we want to be treated. And then they're gonna go home, tell their people how good their job is, how much they love their job, because it don't feel like work, because you working alongside somebody that look like you, that's showing love, and we making money together. So, bro, that's one business. Okay, she gonna go home and tell her family. Now, her family is gonna support the business. Okay, first they're gonna support the business because their daughter is working there, or their family member is working there, and they speaking highly about it. They're gonna come visit the store off the strength on that, first off. And then two, once they get there and you're actually who the fuck you say you are,
Mm-hmm.
come on. And then with that income, and see, this is what a mindset gonna kick in. With that income that the community is giving you, we will collectively open another store in the same community. But you're gonna also be listening to your employees, because they look like you. We still gonna be having conversations about the value that they hold in particular, like as individuals, because one of your employees could potentially move on and go to another building that you finna open, and they start their own stuff in that particular. You see what I'm saying? This is how stuff happens, bro.
Like a domino effect.
Yes, this is how stuff happens. But if we don't stay down when it starts, if we don't just stay down for that little rough patch in the beginning, we'll never get there.
Yeah, you're right. Somebody, yeah. Because I keep thinking about the risk, but hey, man, it got to be taken.
Got to be
taken.
And I believe we have people that's willing to take this risk, bro. It's just got to be an initiative. Like, we just got to have something tangible that we can connect ourselves to connect with one another. And I think we really need to have a global, like, I know we do Invest Fest and they got all of this shit going, but we really need to, like, have a conference of what we're going to collectively do together. Like, I understand that we coming and we trying to get ourselves together individually, but you bring in thousands, 12,000 people. Bro, it was 12,000 people at Invest Fest in Atlanta. 12,000 people in one building. So imagine how much money was in the room. Why didn't we talk about funding a school? Why didn't we talk about, you see what I'm saying? Why didn't we have those type of conversations? We just want to be stroked. Like, our ego just want to be stroked because we're doing something that we feel good about. But majority of us is still losing. Like, the wealth gap is not changing. Yeah, we got a few millionaires and billionaires in our community. I'm not going to lie. We do have some melanated people getting to it. Right. But what I'm saying is that those melanated people that's getting to it, we have to come together and do something for the collective, because it's like that's what Kanye was talking about on the podcast. He was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of these communities is controlling, and it's about control. They controlling where things is, the way things is going. So it's like we have to control our own narrative by coming together and creating the narrative that we want to see, though.
Mm-hmm. And when you said that, I thought about the crab in the bucket mentality, man. Because it's like you'll have people that's trying to do the right thing and elevating, but I imagine that some of them are probably like, man, I ain't even trying to deal with these niggas, man. Because it's always a nigga hating, always a nigga plotting, bro. So what you think can be done about that?
You can't do anything about that but remain pure.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to like, that's another thing. Like we've been getting screwed over by other people for so long and never done anything about it. But as soon as one of our own do something to us, we react quick. And I think that's something that we have to break. And I think that's a part of the system. That's what happened to us by going through all of this oppression. Because you got to think about it, bro. A bully usually get bullied, bro. Most bullies are people that get bullied. We have been bullied for so long that we bully each other because we don't have no power. We know that that's a battle we can win. Like if I fight you, I know I got a chance of winning. But if I fight a cracker, I know like something is going to happen to where I'm going to lose. That's the mindset. That's the mindset you're going to have off the rip. You just like, okay, if I try to fight them, all odds stacked against me.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, if I fight a black person, it's like, we both ain't got shit. So it's like, I ain't got nothing. Only thing we have to lose is our life. So it's like, that's what's so bad about it. Like, only thing we got to lose is our life. They got money to lose and play with. They got things that they can sacrifice. We only have our lives, bro. And that's what we sacrifice. We sacrificing our lives for this shit. And it's like we don't have to. What we really need to do is sacrifice the bad things about our lives, the things that the habits that we need to break, the mindset, the curses that we need to break. That's what we need to break, bro. That's what we need to give up. That's what we need to sacrifice. We don't need to lose our actual life, but we need to lose the mindset that we have in our life. Like, because that will ultimately change your life.
Real talk. And going back to an earlier piece of the show, I would want to put that into a curriculum too.
What exactly?
What you was just talking about, changing that mind of, fighting against ourselves and that type of stuff. Everything you were just saying.
Yeah,
I would make that a part of the curriculum, because a lot of the issues that we have, bro, for some people, for some older people in the black community, a lot of times they get stuck in their ways, you feel me? But the kids, and that's one thing I value about Michael Jackson. Like Michael Jackson saw the value in changing the world.
Right.
And it was through the kids. Because for the adults, man, cake been baked. You feel me? Pretty much.
Nah, for real.
But if you raise up these kids with these morals and stuff that you were just saying, then we'll have a new community. You feel me?
Exactly. You really just said the whole logic behind the system that we caught up in now, because they understood that if you indoctrinate the children, then you got everything.
Right.
And which is why they indoctrinate the children every day in public school.
Yep.
So it's a continual system. So if we don't really remove all the way from the system, like, because they educating our children every day, they're learning this history, they learning these lies every single day. So us as adults, even though we getting on Instagram, even though we getting on Facebook and we popping our shit, meanwhile, our children at school right now. And it's like, although you feel like you're taking steps forward, we still going backwards because of what our children are learning. Like, we so focused on us, and it's like, okay, nigga, yeah, you woke, but your children getting put to sleep.
Right. It's almost like working against itself.
It is working against itself. Like we doing all of this studying, right? And meanwhile, right now, somebody filling out financial aid to go get a degree that's not gonna serve them. So it's like it's these systems within the system that's stopping the growth. Like, okay, like you might have somebody that believe in not having an abortion. Meanwhile, in some state, somewhere, some city, some town, somebody's having an abortion right now. So we still have a lot of things within this system that's working against us. That's why I was telling you the other day in the conversation talking about voting. That's why I was saying that we have to literally remove ourselves out of this system because it's too detrimental.
Yeah. But hell, it's about like we can't survive without it. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's a lot of responsibility. We can survive without it, but it's a lot of responsibility, and it'll take time.
Right.
Like even just coming up, even just coming up with a curriculum, and then having a facility. You know what I mean? All that stuff. It needs to be done, but it'll take time.
Well, it'll take you. I'm talking about. It'll take a century. It'll probably take a century.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably take a good century. Now it took. Now just to let you know, it took them longer to be civilized. So me saying 100 years is not a long time.
Let me ask you something, cuz.
What?
If I remember correctly, you said that you didn't want to send your son to public school, right?
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, hypothetically, then, say if your child ended up in public school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I heard was a discussion on the Breakfast Club yesterday. What if your child was in history class and the assignment was to do something about Christopher Columbus? Would you book on your child doing that assignment and say, "Oh, nah, you don't got to do that because it ain't the truth"?
No, I would just tell them to write it and write the truth. But I'd be ready for the backlash because I understand that the system is designed for him to know Christopher Columbus as the lie. So I probably would be I would be expecting him to not go back to that school after this essay. Because first, see, with my consciousness, I'm already gonna be feeling like what's gonna happen anyway. So that's why I don't even want to put my son in that situation. Because it's like I don't even want to put myself in that situation because I know I'm not going to agree. So it's like we still working against each other. Like even like certain Christian schools, I'm not going to be direct with that, but it's certain Christian schools that still teach their children the same thing, and that's why people still believe that the Bible is manipulative. And it is manipulative, but I'm saying the Bible by itself is not manipulative. It's people that use the Bible to manipulate people. The Bible itself is not manipulative. So, and I think they play on that because people still teach white history within the Bible. And that shit is confusing. Like it confuses people because that's why most people still go back to how the scriptures were manipulated for the slaves to be subject to the slave master.
Right. I hear that so much. And folks done got tricked, man, because, man, slavery was around before, you know what I mean? That'd be the thing, man.
Bro, we were slaves. That's spiritual. We just got through talking about Israelites. Israelites. Pharaoh let my people go. Who were we? Come on now. We were those same people in the beginning. That's why we had the same spirit. We have gone through the same oppression, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, we have to be freed. And the only way, like, God had the freedom. So God got to free us as well. The only way we're going to be freed is through our consciousness. Because that's what I'm saying. On this physical plane, bro, the powers that be has made it to where we have a limit. Like, there's a limit to what we can do on the physical plane. So to go beyond the physical plane, we have to enter what? The spiritual realm. We have to gather our spiritual consciousness, our spiritual power, our spiritual strength. That's how we're going to fight this war. We're not fighting against flesh and blood. Like, it's a spiritual warfare. So that we have to fight that also from a spiritual standpoint, because the realization of this world is that it's going down anyway. Like, if let's just be honest, like this is just to pass by time. If we just being realistic right now, we just passing by time. Going through all of this shit, we just passing by time. Because in reality, the end is, we already know what the end gonna be. Like, the end is that everything is gonna come to an end. And it's not gonna be good always. That's the reality of it all. But for the sake of just us living life and that we got 24 hours in the day, shit, we got to fill our time up with something. So for the sake of life, for the sake of just living and keeping our sanity, we have to do certain shit because we on a physical plane.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, bro, we have to also have a certain level of spiritual awareness and spiritual enlightenment in that curriculum as well. Like you was just saying, that was a great point, because if we don't have that, we really missing the whole big picture.
I'm telling you.
Because we sure is fighting this wealth war. We fighting the wealth war. We know, okay, we need money, but what the fuck else we need? Like
wisdom, man.
We need that first. Like for real, we need that first. But we want to see money. That's why we looking at that first. Is because we want to see it. But man, tapping in, I know, man, we really been having a good conversation, but we've really been on here for a while. So I think we need to go to our next segment, the segment of what you learn. My son is crying right now. But with that being said, bro, is it anything that you learned, bro, that you wanna add, to the show? Because I know we got value. I know you got some value. So just anything that you can add value on that somebody can learn.
I don't want to say that I necessarily learned it, but a reminder of me waiting on God to move. Cause I may see a situation need to be a certain way, and I know it need to be that way. And I may voice my opinion and speak about it being that way. And it may not happen right then. But that's the time when I just gotta wait on God, because the truth gonna be the truth, and the truth gonna always prevail.
Facts.
So I just gotta remember that, man, and be patient, bro. It's my lady tell me that every day when I go to work. Be patient, cause she know.
Right.
So that's one thing I gotta do, man. I just gotta continue to be patient, man. And I think that's something I'm gonna be learning for the rest of my life.
Facts.
For the rest of my life, bro. So that's what I learned, bro. To be patient again.
Hey, that's like a really everyday thing, bro. I don't think we're gonna be able to shake that one.
I'm telling you.
I don't think I want to shake that one because I'm always need it.
Got to have it, man.
That's true, man. But
how about you, man?
What have I learned recently? Because like I've been trying to get back up on my reading. Like I've recently committed myself back to reading more throughout the day. Like every day I need to be reading something. So, well, shoot, I can use that. Man, that's basically what I've been learning. Like I'm learning that your knowledge is a reflection of what you feed yourself. You can't just sit here and think something and your knowledge is gonna grow. Like, no, you have to actually feed yourself something. That's kind of like your stomach is not, your weight is not going to increase if you don't actually consume the food. You can look at the food all day long, but if you don't eat that shit, your stomach is not gonna feel nothing. So it's like, like I have to actually feed myself knowledge to gain knowledge. Like I can't just think about knowledge, or I can't just think about things that I need to learn. I have to actually go do it, apply that, execute that, really feed myself the knowledge that I need. That's the only way it's gonna happen. So with that being said, brother, that's the end of the segment of what you learn. So we're gonna go into the segment of the financial theme of the month.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to try to do something extra.
I felt that, bro. You sound like one of them YouTube folk.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to try to do something extra. But yeah, the financial theme of the month, man. And I think this is a valuable tool, and I feel like we need to produce this. We're gonna make this a production. Like, this is a financial theme of the month. But very important lesson for the financial theme of the month, which is saving and budgeting. And I know I've talked about this last week and the week before, because the month of October is pretty long. We got 5 weeks in this month. But with that being said, saving and budgeting are two very important things, because like I said last week, it starts your process off. I think those are very basic and fundamental lessons and tips on finances because, like I said, we love to talk about investments, and I'm talking about myself. I love to talk about, I can talk about what company I'm invested in now. We can talk about that, but it won't be beneficial if you don't have no savings and no budget.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would have to have something to put into your investments to fuel your investments. But so you can't just start. It's not smart to just start off investing. Now, by any means, if you have the money, don't get me wrong. If you have the money to just throw into something and you can invest right now, invest. But I also want to say that make sure you have a safety net or a foundation of something that you can use so you won't be hurting your finances too bad.
Right.
Because, man, I've experienced trying to invest too fast and it be hurting my pockets. And I have to always go back into what I invested because I took too much out. So you want to always do a safe amount to where like your family is not suffering or like you're putting something else in jeopardy just because you want to invest. Like, nah, you need to be deliberate. You need to be smart about it.
Amen.
Like, be smart about it. So if you have to take your time and write these things out, do that. Because sometimes we like to just, I got everything in my head. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I need to do it right now. You know what I'm saying? I need to write more things down. That's another point, for the financial thing. But a month, write down your stuff. It will help you see it better, help you visualize it better. But with that being said,
hold on, let me add something to that.
I was just about to ask you.
Mm-hmm. Another thing too, like I like what you said about choosing a good amount to invest. And also in doing that, consider like what may happen. Not even may happen, because I know my dad used to always say, it ain't if something fuck up, it's when.
Right.
So account for that too. And I know, we can't always be like, we can't put a dollar amount, or we can't predict, when our car might mess up, or we might need this, or we might need that, but have something over there. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if something happened, I got at least this over here. You know what I mean? Now I got this to invest.
Right.
After considering that too.
Right.
So that's all I wanted to add, man.
Great stuff. Great stuff. I think, and I thank everybody for tuning in and listening to conversation number 35, 36. Is it 36?
I'm not sure.
I
Praise God
36.
that we in the 30s, man. One time for being in the 30s, man.
Amen.
For being in the 30s, man.
That's right. I ain't even realize.
For sure.
Let me go check, bro. What number is this? What number is this?
Oh, my arm, it's so bad, bro.
I believe this is number 30. This is number.
Oh, that felt good.
Yeah, this is number 36, bro. This is
all right.
episode 36. So, yeah, 36.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for tuning in to conversation number 36. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
And y'all stay tuned, man. We still got some interviews coming out. Still tapping into that, just getting the time management thing together. But stay tuned, and the Two Kings is out.
Peace.
Peace. Are you stressed, anxious, or depressed? Well, here's some good news for you. We started a mental health movement called MH10, and we encourage people to pay more attention to their mental health. So do this for us. Take at least 10 minutes per day to take a walk in nature, a jog, run, or just meditation to decrease your stress, because stress is one of the leading causes of chronic physical and mental illnesses in the body. So if you want to join the movement, you can also post on social media, post your 10 minutes by using hashtag MH10 or mental health 10 minutes.